Welcome to ADHDID, a channel dedicated to autism, ADHD and dissociative identity disorder.
Morning. I'm back in my kitchen. I'm just making myself breakfast. I thought I would record the day after my burnout recovery day, mostly because it didn't work. And I thought that this would be a really good way of explaining, like, sometimes we can do all the right things and the outcome that we want just doesn't happen. So that's happened to me today. And even though I did all the right things, my chronic illness app this morning tells me that my body is out of balance. So I have a really big meeting that I want to go to today. And I really need to be present in both my front brain and so how do I say this? My right and my left brain, because I need to be emotionally available to the people that I'm listening to. It's a group about lived experience of mental health services. So as you can imagine, it can be quite emotionally intense at sometimes. Because I'm an empath, so I feel their feelings and often I connect with their experiences. So I really have a felt sense of connection with the stories that they say. So it's not that they're emotionally intense, it's like I find it an emotionally intense experience for myself. So I also need to use my left-hand brain because I need my logic and my thinking patterns online, because I'll be looking for patterns in the way that they've been treated, things that might need to be changed in the future, and writing reports on it. So I know that I am going to have to manage both of those buckets today in quite an intense way, which is not ideal given that I woke up this morning out of balance. So I am not going to cancel that. In the past, I would have, because I didn't have any skills to manage it. So I know that on Friday, excuse me a sec, let me just turn that off because it will drive us all mad. I know that on Friday I've got my support worker come in and she'll help me catch up. And if I can't do anything, I can sit on the sofa and watch TV while she helps me clean my house or chats with me or whatever. So I have a recovery day planned before we even go into my action. So that's the first thing. Now I'm going to look at how can I prepare myself for what is about to come. And sorry the camera's so close to me, but I'm holding it because I don't have a tripod. I can't find it because I'm doing decorating and I don't know where we put it. Oh my days, I cannot wait till the decorating is done. Right, so my environment is chaos, so I know that's like a negative factor that I have to consider. What else? I think that my emotional bucket is probably over full right now, because I've had some people do things to me that are basically scamming me at the moment. And as wise as I am these days, you can't always protect yourself. So we're going through that process at the moment. And so my sense of injustice is pretty heightened right now. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about that at some point, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. um, I'm used to being vulnerable with people, but maybe not this vulnerable. So we'll see. Yeah, so my emotional bucket's full. So I number one priority for me is to empty that, because if I can't manage that bucket, I know I'm not going to be able to do anything else. So what I'm going to do is call a mental health helpline. I'm going to eat breakfast because my little has woken up this morning, jumping up and down at me saying, I'm hungry. And I can feel the hunger because she's letting me feel it now. So we're sharing those action systems. But for her to trust me with that action system, I have to actually action her prompt. And it's really difficult for me because hunger is so triggering. So I'm going to do that first, because otherwise our agreement is that she gets to make me sparkly if I don't do her prompt. So she's made me have sparkly nails and sparkly eyes all week, and I really need to not go to my professional meeting too sparkly. So She's number one priority this morning to feed. Then I'm going to empty my emotional bucket. I realise I've just changed my priorities. I do this a lot. As I think through things, I'm like, nope, that one gets bumped up. Yeah, so feed little one, empty my emotional bucket, and then I'll come back and I'll take a stock after I have had a chat with someone who hopefully will be a safe person to chat to. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, so I have gone and had my chat with the mental health helpline and I feel a lot better. I have emptied my emotional bucket, so that should put me in good stead for my meeting later. So the next thing I'm going to do is plan what I'm going to do for food. So my meeting is at 1:30. I need to be there to set it up. And so I'm going to be leaving at 1 o'clock, which is my usual lunchtime. So I'm going to have lunch at 12 today, and I have an alarm that's already set on my phone that stops me from doing what my morning task is and transitioning to making lunch and to start my afternoon. So I know I've got an alarm for 12 and I've set one for 1 o'clock because that's when I need to leave, because it takes 20 minutes to get there and that gives me 10 minutes to park. Yeah, so I will be there on time if I do that. Now, one of the things that I like to do is plan my food for the day ahead of time, because I found that I find it really hard to sorry, the camera's so close to me, I really need to find a tripod or a selfie stick or something. So I need to plan my meals and then prepare them and eat them as separate stages, otherwise I just get too overwhelmed by food. So I'm going to show you the front of my fridge right now. Hang on a sec, I just need to take off one thing that is personal, that it's a reminder for a wedding and you all don't need to know where they're getting married. So let me just take that off and I will turn around the camera. Okay, so this is the front of my fridge. It has all of the things on there that I need help with. It's kind of like a Kanban board, I guess, and things that I need my husband's help with. And then this is my meal planner. So this tells me what's in the fridge, because if I don't see it, it's out of my mind, and with the door closed, I can't see it. So I put the list of all my groceries that I bought yesterday, plus the cake that my friends gave me for my birthday, which is not usually on there, but it is today. And then the meals that I need to prep, and how much space is in the freezer if I need to take something out, what I'm eating and what my husband's eating. So I've already meal prepped soup, so I'm going to have that again for lunch. And then I was going to make stir fry tonight, but the only thing I have to make my husband is his own version of stir fry, so I don't have 2 pans and I don't have the energy to wash it up in between. So I'm going to make myself sweet potato and a vegan Kiev, and he's going to have his stir fry. So I'm going to meal prep the sweet potatoes. I'm going to peel and cut them now, and then I'm going to leave them in water until I get home, so that I've done the difficult part before I get home. And everything else I think is frozen that I can heat up, so that should be easy. And I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I finished meal prepping my potatoes. It was a rather large sweet potato, so I'm going to save the extras and add it to a meal later on in the week. That helps me get more veggies in. And I've put everything that I need to make them out on here. Actually, I missed out the oil. But while I'm over here, I've put everything that I need out for my husband's meal, so I literally have to just put it in. Yeah, so I'm going to start mine first, most likely. Now, I know that after my meeting, I'm more likely to dissociate. So I have planned to put these in the air fryer, which means that I don't have to concentrate. So if I don't stay present, my air fryer will cook them, turn itself off and beep at me until I go and get them. And I know that I'm also going to be really tired, so I have set my husband's coffee machine. I thought about making him lunch now, but I don't have his lunchbox, so I'm going to do that whilst my sweet potatoes are in the air fryer, and my husband's chicken I'm going to cook in the Instant Pot, because that also turns itself off if I dissociate, and it also means I don't have to stand up until I'm actually stir frying the chicken in with the noodles on the stove, and I can ask my husband to stand with me and talk to me while I do that so I don't dissociate. So that's how I've prepped for the food needs, and quite honestly I think everything else can wait. So now I'm just going to chill out before my meeting, and I will catch up with my paperwork tomorrow, which was the agenda for Thursday. It's me again. I wasn't planning to come back and talk to you until after I'd come back from a meeting. However, I sat down to have my chill out time. I decided that that even though I was feeling hyperactive, I didn't want to get into doing something else because I would get hyper focused on it and I might miss my meeting. I've done this before. So I needed to do something with that hyper focus because it's not going to go away. So what I did was write down everything that I wanted to do towards the thing that I'm excited about. So later on when I get back, I've done something towards it, so I get the satisfaction now. And then later on when I get back, I can hopefully switch back and pick it up if I have the energy to do that. If I don't, I can do it another day when I'm into it again. The other thing that happened is that some of my parts started to feel anxious, and I don't know which part it is because I've got a large system. I'm guessing it's probably one of the fragments lower down in the system that I can't directly speak to. So what I've done is I've told all of like the managers that we are going to a place we've been to before. So everything is going to be the same as it usually is. I've let them know that my boss is going to be there, who is a safe person for us, and that at any point I can go and have some space. And also I have let them know that they don't have to come if they don't want to, so they can go into the inner world and be in the safe space. And whilst I'm in the meeting now, I will talk to them and let them know what's going on outside and that everything's still okay. Even if it's just to say, we're still at the meeting, everything's going fine. So that's how I'm going to handle those feelings, because until they communicate a need with me, I don't know how to meet it. And that's the reality really of inner communication. It's not always clear, but they are sharing something with me, so I want to acknowledge it. And the other thing I thought about is that I haven't told you about my self-care kit. So I take a backpack with me wherever I go. It always has, I'll just show you my keys. It might be a bit loud, so if you're on headphones, you might want to mute for a couple of seconds. So I have these earbuds. I think they're called Calmers. I love these. They don't block out sound, they just filter out distressing tones, so they make being in a loud environment more tolerable for me. So there's going to be multiple conversations going on in my meeting today, so these will help me. And they're always on my car keys, because I very rarely leave the house without these car keys unless I'm with my husband. And the other thing is I have an air tag. So if I dissociate and I lose my keys, it screams at me not to leave them behind. Or even if I'm just being ADHD today, it helps. The other thing I always have is a hair clip. So I have lovely long hair, but sometimes I get too hot and it gives me sensory overload, so I'm preparing ahead of time. I have chewing gum. This helps me just focus on a taste. It's something that's hidden that other people can't see, and if they do, eating chewing gum is not abnormal, so no one knows that I'm stimming or grounding myself, which is nice. I also have this squeezy ball. My little loves it because it changes colour and it's really satisfying to squeeze. She has a new one that she loves that's got the Pop-It toys. Oh my god, that's so satisfying, but not appropriate for a meeting because I can't be popping and driving everyone mad. So I'm going to have this with me, and I'll probably keep it under the table. Although there's lots of neurodivergent. Start again. There is lots of neurodivergent people going to be at the meeting, so they would probably not bat an eyelid if I started playing with all the fidget toys. So that's nice. I don't have to mask. I'm going to take my noise cancelling headphones. I love these, by the way. They're great.
I can't wear them in the meeting, obviously, because I need to hear people, but I can wear them on the way in the car. I can wear them when I get out. If I need to go take a break, I can pop them on temporarily. And if I wear them in the car, I put them on a wear mode so that I can still hear if there's any police cars around. So I love the fact it has a dual mode. And what else am I taking with me? I will take my disabled badge. I will take tissues because I'm having some sensory problems with my sinuses, and also just in case anyone else cries while we're there. I've got 2 levels of sunglasses. Oops. So I've got my slightly dark, where I want people to see my eyes, and then I've got my dark ones that you've already seen me wear in my bag. I've got magnetic rings, which is another type of fidget toy. Sometimes you try a fidget toy and it just doesn't work for you because you're not in the mood for that day. So I've got these magnetic rings. The other ones I like for meetings is like the Ono roller, which is like 2 rollers that you move in your hands, but I'm having a bad hand day today, so I don't think my chronic pain could cope with that. So these ones are quite satisfying, have the same kind of sensation, but without the chronic pain. So I'm going to put these in my bag as well. And the other thing that I would do if I was going to a doctor's appointment would be to have a scarf with perfume on. But because I'm going to be around other neurodivergent people, I don't know what their smell sensory profiles are like. So I'm not going to do that today. But if I was going somewhere else, I totally would, because the smells really ground me, especially for flowers. I just love flowers. It's my thing. So that's what I'm going to do. And then while I'm waiting for the meeting to start, I will let my little play a puzzle or something quick on my phone, but not one that she'll get into and not want to start the meeting. And then when I get home, they seem very antsy today, so I'm going to just say they get the rest of the afternoon / evening. So after I've cooked dinner, I'm going to do colouring with them, and that's going to be their reward time for helping me by being calm while I'm out so I can concentrate. And I also let my little have a bit of birthday cake when we have lunch, because she's been really great this morning and helping me do all my chores and like little bits and being patient when I know she's really excited and wants to play. So that's how it's gone so far. So I've been out to my meeting and I've cooked dinner for my husband and I have rewarded my littles with some colouring time, and they've been colouring this picture of this unicorn, and my little's been making me make it all sparkly. She's obsessed with sparkles at the moment, which is fine. She's only 4. The meeting was quite overwhelming, as I predicted, and I was really glad that I did everything to plan ahead of time. So when I got home, all I had to do was basically heat up my food. So yeah, very relieved for today to be over, and tomorrow I'm going to be in complete recovery mode. So yeah, that's been my second recovery day. Realistically, I think it would be the weekend before I start to feel myself again. But that's okay. These things take time. But I'm glad that I have found a way to balance out my different areas of my life and what's important to me. So even though I live with chronic illness and DID and autism, I can still have a life that's meaningful. I was just reflecting on some of the strategies that I've been using in the last couple of videos and my time days. It dawned on me that if somebody had told me these things at the beginning of my recovery journey, I would have said that there's no way that these are possible. I didn't not want to share these things because there will be people who are at other stages of recovery where they are able to try some of these things out. I hope that those of you who aren't there yet won't judge yourself for not being able to do these things. And I hope that one day you can get to this space where you can try these things. The other thing I wanted to say is that I know for me, in the beginning, I told myself that I'd never be able to do a lot of these things. And when I reflect on it now, I think that those stories that I would tell myself actually took up a lot of my window of tolerance. So it actually took capacity away from me to perpetuate these beliefs. And once I got out of my meta emotions, and meta emotions are basically our feelings about our feelings, I started to see that that's where my trauma was held. It was in those stories that I would tell myself. And when I tried to work out why did I believe those things about myself, I began to understand, well, that's what abusers had taught us to believe about ourselves to make us feel helpless. So that trauma got stored in our bodies, and it's hard to let that out. So I hope that even if you can't relate to this video right now, you will at least find some kind of hope that you could get here in the future. And I appreciate the fact that you've stuck with me this far if that's not where you're at right now. And I thank you for hearing me out. And if no one has told you today, you are loved. Bye.